Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to make this Christmas tree. I got two. I've got a little tiny one. So what I used for this was just 4-weight. I didn't use anything worsted, but for the one I'm going to make today I'm going to use worsted, and it's a completely different color, as you can see. So you can make them any color you want. For the bigger one, I used, especially because I'm using the worsted, I'm going to use a 5mm hook. And you will also need some glitter glue if you wanted to do snow. I just bought this at the dollar store. It's Elmer's glitter glue. And that is, I don't know if you can see, I put little balls on my tree. Here, let me get the smaller one. It's all got color. So all these little colored balls, that's the glitter glue. That's how I did that. So, I mean, if you don't have that, well, I mean, you can just run to the dollar store, but if you don't have it, then I didn't make balls, so there won't be any balls to make, but you can get all these different colors. Silver, there's probably a crap ton more, so. But that's what I got there. And then the size of the hooks are going to change too, because to make the little bows that I made, I'm pretty sure I used a 3.5. Let me see. Yeah, I used a 3.5. So that's for all the bows on it that I did. Still a 4-weight, a really tight bows, but I used a 3.5mm. So let's get started. All right, so let's start. I got my 5mm H hook. Let's start with a magic ring. So I want you to put another chain in there, and I want you to put 8 half double crochets. So you should have 9 altogether. Because of our chain 2 at the beginning. So we're not slip stitching or chaining 2 or anything. We're gonna do this in a spiral because we're gonna use that particular spiral later. We're starting at the point and working down. So your next round is just gonna be 1 half double crochet in each stitch. So that is number 9. Should have had 9 stitches. Next round is going to be 1 half double crochet and an increase. So put in your first half double, and we're going to use a stitch marker now. And then your next stitch gets the increase of 2 half doubles in the same space, and repeat. 1 half double, Next stitch gets 2 half doubles. Excuse me. Next stitch gets 1. Next stitch gets 2. Oops. And the last stitch gets 2. So now you're just going to do 1 half double crochets in each. You should have 12 stitches. You're going to do 1 half double crochet in each of those 12 stitches. That's number 1. That's my 12. So that's what it should look like so far. So I chose the half double because it gives this different sort of a look to it. And I thought it was super cool for a Christmas tree. I'm going to lose my voice. So your next round is going to be 2 half doubles and then your increase. So that's number 1 with the marker. Another half double in that stitch is number 2. Then the next stitch gets the increase of 2 half doubles in the same space. And repeat. So 1, 1, 2. All the way around. So you should have 16 stitches, and I want you to put 1 half double crochet in each of those 16 stitches. So that's my 16. So your next round is going to be 3 half double crochets and an increase. So that's number 1. 2 and 3 half double crochets and then your increase. 2 half doubles in the same space. So your next round is going to be 4 half doubles and an increase. And this will take you up to 23 stitches. And then you can put 1 half double crochet in each of those 23 stitches. So that's my 4 half doubles and then my increase. So this is where it gets a little bit different. I'm going to change it up a bit here. So your next round is going to be 5 half double crochets and an increase. So that's number 1. Oops. Chasing my ball around. That's number 1. that's 5. And then my increase, 2 in the same space. And repeat. So this is what it should look like by now. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 2 increases in a row and then a regular one for this next few rows. So your first round is going to be 7, obviously, half double crochets and an increase. Your next round after that will be 8 half doubles and an increase, and then a regular one half double in each stitch. So I put all this on the screen. That's number 1. A 7 and then 2 in this stitch. So this is what it should look like by now. So our next round is going to be 9 half double crochets, and then the round after that will be just 1 half double. Should bring you to 43 stitches. That's 9 half doubles, and then 2 half doubles in the next stitch, and a repeat. So your next round is going to be 10 half double crochets and an increase. And then you're going to do 1 half double crochet in each stitch. You should have 47 stitches. That's number 1. That's my 10. And then 2 half double crochets in this stitch. And repeat. Alrighty, so we're getting there. And because we're doing an amigurumi, obviously, there's no seam. So that's the best part. So your next round is going to be 11 half double crochets and an increase. It takes you up to 51 stitches, and then you're going to put 1 half double crochet in each of those 51 stitches. Number 1. That's my 11 half doubles, and then my increase of 2 half doubles in the same stitch, and repeat. So our final increase row is going to be 12 half doubles. That takes you to 55 stitches. This is going to be our last increase. And then a row of 1 half doubles in each of those 55 stitches. And then we're going to start decreasing for the bottom. So we're just about there. That's number 1. That's 12 half doubles, and then the next stitch will get 2 half doubles for the increase. And repeat. So we're going to start decreasing, and we're going to start with a 5 half double crochet decrease. So that's number 1. That's my 5 half double crochets, and then my decrease is going to be to yarn over, go into the stitch like you're doing half double, pull through, come through 2 and stop. Yarn over, go into the second stitch, pull through, come through 2, and then come through 3. So that's how you're going to do the decrease there. And repeat. Five half doubles, and then you repeat. So yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull through 2 and stop. Yarn over, go through the second stitch, pull through 2, and then pull through 3. And repeat. 5 half doubles, yarn over, go through the first stitch, pull through 2 and stop. Yarn over, go through the second stitch, pull through 2, then pull through 3. So that's how you do your decrease. Five half doubles, so your next round is going to be 3 half double crochets and a decrease. Sticking with our odd numbers. That's number 1. That's 3 half doubles, and then your decrease. So yarn over, go into your first stitch, pull through 2, and stop. Yarn over, go into your second stitch, pull through 2, and then finish it. Now I just changed what was in your head on repeat, didn't I? 3 half doubles and a decrease. So at this point, it's looking pretty funny. At this point, you should have 30 stitches. So for the next 2 rows, you're just going to put 1 half double crochet in each of those 30 stitches. Like I said, we're trying to keep this as flat on the bottom as possible. So right now it should look like a spade. You know, like on a card. Anyway. Sometimes my jokes just aren't funny. So I'm trying to keep it, like I said, as flat as I can for the bottom. So we're going to, so you should have 30 stitches. We are going to decrease 15 times. So we're going to decrease half of those stitches, and then we're just going to sew together the rest of it. At this point though, I think we can start to stuff it before we do that. So, be able to get our hand all the way up there. Now, I know that it probably would be just really, really easy to just jam this in, but you want to make sure you get the very, very tippy top. And you want to make sure you have no clumping, so you kind of have to pull your polyfill apart. And just make sure you really pack it in that very tippy top. You don't want to overstuff it. You don't want to see any of the white through here. I know it's hard to see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to push my polyfill out to the sides and then stuff the middle. But it's very hard to do. It's not the easiest thing to stuff without getting clumpies. That's why I like to just thin my stuff out. Makes it easier to deal with. I'm going to pack it all down anyway, but to me it's easier. Alright. I'm probably going to squeeze in some more after I start closing it up a little bit. Because if I can still get a finger in there, I will put more. Mine's not overstuffed. I can't see the white through it. Oh, maybe in a couple spots. But no big deal. So we're going to decrease 15 times. So you're going to yarn over, just like the decreases we've been doing. Yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull through. Now don't pull these decreases tight. Come through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, come through 2, come through 3. You don't need your stitch marker anymore. And then you're going to go right into the next decrease. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull through 2 and stop. Yarn over, next stitch, pull through 2, pull through 3. So we just did 2, so you've got to do 13 more. So that is my 15. I really want this flat, so don't think I'm going to put any more in, because when we close it up I want to be able to push what I have down so that it sits flat. So we can just fasten off at this point. So if you need more, now's the time to shove some more in there. So that's my last decrease. So I'm just going to go into the next stitch and I'm going to do a slip stitch and fasten off. Now you just need enough to sew this shut and then to weave in a bit. So it's going to be a titch hard to show you, but hopefully the camera can pick it up. So under just one piece of yarn, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go out the next stitch. So I'm going in this stitch and then out that stitch. You don't have to pull tight or anything. You don't even have to pull all the way if you don't want. I'm going to go in and then out the next stitch. So I'm going to do that all the way around. In and out. In and out. And just under that one piece of yarn. In and out. I have 2 more left. That's where I started. In and out. So after this, all you're going to do is pull. And it's just going to close up, just like that. So pull as tight as you can, and then you're going to come across. We're just going to make a small little knot. So come across and through that area. Now this little loop you got, you're going to go through the loop. So that's going to make a knot, and then you're going to pull up and down a couple times. That tightens that knot right up. I got a whole pile of polyfill on the bottom of this, and it's driving me crazy a little bit. There's some of it gone. So we just made a wee tiny knot there, and if you wanted to, you can make another tiny knot, but I'm just going to weave. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to start to weave. So if you got any high spots, you can kind of pull them down there, because like I said, you want that to be flat. So I'm actually going to push on the bottom. So that'll make my bottom kind of look like this, because I just pushed some of the stuffing up, but it's going to be sitting. Nobody's going to see the bottom, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to shove some more stuffing up into the tree. So the bottom's a little wonky like that. It's perfectly fine. At least you know it's going to be able to sit all by itself. And even me shaking the table, it doesn't fall over. So that's what we want. We want it to be nice and sturdy. So it doesn't really matter what the bottom looks like, as long as it's not round because you've overstuffed it. Actually, here, this last bit, you probably could have done singles if you wanted this nice and tight, because I mean it is kind of spacey. Probably could have done a single crochet, but like I said, it doesn't matter what the bottom looks like. So when you weave, you come out in a spot, go back in as close as you can to the same spot to your lead, so it just looks like a stitch when you pull on it. Green on green, this might not be easy to see. So it just looks like a stitch when you pull on it. But if you pull too tight, you get a little bit of a divot. You'll just have to pull back out. A pair of scissors or something. So go ahead and do your weave. It's not that super duper imperative, because no one's going to be tugging on the bottom, and we made the knot. So I'm just going to go a couple of times, no big deal, cut that off. You'd probably go more if it was like an arm or a leg of something. So there we go, we got our Christmas tree done. So as far as the decorations go, I used a 4mm hook, and I created stitches. And then I just kind of went on a diagonal pattern. This naturally goes in a spiral, and that's what this is doing. But I did find that I had to kind of still guide my own way around. But if you don't want to do what I'm going to do, actually we'll do it differently. But there's what I did for this tree is on the diagonal. And then this tree, I kind of followed the spiral a little bit, but then I added a scallop all along. So you can do, oh, some of them I got stuck in my glue. So you can do that too, it's an idea. We're going to do that for the little tree. For this one, maybe we'll put like this, and then the bows. So let's try and do it that way. So that is next. Alrighty. So I've got some of this stuff. I know it's going to be hard to see, but this has sparkles in it. And then I've got some red sparkly. So these sparkly yarns are from the Red Heart Comfort Collection Metallic. There's Comfort, and then there's Comfort Metallic, and there's also Red Heart with Love Metallic. And they all have the glitteries. And there's probably plenty more, but that's where I get it from. And I buy it on Amazon. Cannot get it at Michael's. You can also buy it online, Walmart online, but during this pandemic, everything's running out, so it's been very, very, very hard to get yarn. So I am just going to make a slip knot, however you make one, and then figure out where you want to go. So I think I'm going to do this sweeping motion, like you'd see on a regular tree. Maybe I'll start at, yeah, no, I'll start at the bottom. So, I don't know, I'm just going to start wherever. I haven't done this type of motion before, so just go in and grab a post. That's a post. So that's a post, and that's a post. So that's what you're going to be going into. Yarn over, and then just create a stitch. Get my tail out of the way. Create a stitch. So don't worry about whether you're going to put another stitch in here or not, because we're going to be going up. We're not going to be coming back here to slip stitch or anything, so it doesn't really matter. So this will just have to be the back of your tree. So let's we're not going to be able to follow the post because well, I guess you can follow them for a bit because they do spiral. So I guess I want to go up to a point. So you're just going to have to stick your hook in anywhere you can get it in, whether it's around a post or in between a post or however you want to do it. So if I go up, I don't know how far up to go because I got to come back down, right? And go up, and then I got to come back down in a swooping motion. I'm just making this up as I go along, guys. You can do whatever you want. I'm just winging it. So I imagine I would have to still come back down to at least here to make it even before I go back up. Now another way you could do this is to make chains and then just sew it in place, but that's probably easier. So I'm just about down to the space I need, which again, it doesn't matter because how many trees are uniformed, right? So now I gotta start going back up. Oh, so maybe I will come back around and slip stitch. And then I'll just start in a different spot. And I never thought of that because with a spiral I never did. So I guess I shouldn't have said that. So I'm just going to slip stitch into that, and I am going to fasten off. So this is going to be your back, obviously. So you're going to probably be able to put a bow there so it's not as noticeable. But I'm going to tie these two together in a very tight double knot. And then I'm going to just pull them down into the tree. So there's very tippy bottom. So anyway, I think I'll just go red or white, red, white, red. So of course I'm going to start at the back with my red. I'm just going to make a slip knot, just like I did. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to do it higher. So that's my slip knot. Figure out where you want to start. I think I'll come all the way up here. Grab a post. And begin. So set your base for how much of a dip you want to do in your garland. That's all we're making really, is garland. You gotta make sure I come down about the same spot. Just about. So I'm not that far away from the white from before. And I'm gonna go back up. So, I know it's hard to see. This is my tree. The back is a hot mess, but that's okay. I know that's my back. So, I tried to do it as, not messy, but as, how do I even say this? Not uniformed. Because when you put garland on a Christmas tree, it's never just perfect. Do you know what I mean? So we are going to make some bows, and then I think our bows can either go here or like at every drop point or every high point. So that's the plan next. So I did all my bows to make them really, really small. I used a 3.5, which I think is an E. I will put it right up on the screen, up here somewhere. But I'm pretty sure it's an E hook. So you could probably just use scrap yarn. I'm just going to do all different colors. But I will show you in this sparkly red, just because it's easier to see than this sparkly white. But I am just going to do all different colors. Because I did a tree that's red and white, and then this tree is kind of multicolors with the little things, and then this tree is just different from all the rest because I'm just going to group them all together. They're all going to sit on a table, so I want them to be all different. So I think for this tree I did the red and white garland, but I think I'm going to do the I'll do the different colors for the glitter glue, and I'll do the different colors for the bows, so that'll be kind of different. So bow is really small and it's really quick, so I'm going to show you one and then let you go ahead and do the other ones yourself. So we're going to make a slip knot. And we are going to chain 5. Now if you want your bows bigger, you then just do more chains. Keep in mind I'm using a 4-weight worsted with a 3.5 hook, which is about 2 sizes and a half down from what it should be. So it's going to be nice and tight, small little bow. You're going to crochet 4 single crochets back up to the beginning. And then you're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do this for 6 rows. So that's number 1. It goes pretty fast because there's only 4 stitches. So, it looks a little raw, it looks a little not very neat. I didn't do this with my last bows because they're so small, but if you wanted to, it's an option, you don't need to do. I chained one there, and I'm gonna single crochet around the entire project. But up here and down here I have no stitches, so I'm just gonna stick my hook in wherever I can, and I'm just gonna create stitches. So now your bow is gonna be one row bigger, obviously, all the way around, but it's also gonna clean up the edges, so it's not gonna be such raw edges. And then your slip stitch here, your slip knot here, you can just tuck in as you go. Oh, I'm stuck. This glittery stuff is nice, but you get stuck on everything, so corners obviously you're going to get 2 stitches in there. I like raw edges on mine, so I'm not going to do this for mine, but I'm just showing you what it's going to look like. So 2 in the corner, and it's going to seem like it's going to round that out, but you're not going to notice once we squish it all down and sew it together. So I'm weaving in my tail from my slip knot. Then you won't have to take care of that later. And then you've got stitches obviously up here. And that's 4. So I'm back around. I'm just going to slip stitch to this. I'm going to fasten off. So the tail you need is going to be a sewing tail, a wrapping tail. So I'll pull that through. Now if you weaved in your tail from your slip knot, you can just cut that off and get that right out of the way. We're going to use this for the center of the bow to squish it down. So I have 4 stitches across. I need to weave down 2 of them, so halfway, to pull that through. So I need that right in the middle. I'm now going to squish this down. You can fix it all later, and you're just going to wrap. You can wrap as much as you want to make your middle as big or as small as you want to. But once you're done wrapping, I probably got too much yarn or too much of a tail. So once you're done, this is the back of your project, that's the front. You're just gonna have to make sure you're at the back. So now take your needle and go underneath what you just wrapped. Pull through till you have this small little loop. You're going to go through the loop because you're going to make a knot, and just make sure you're keeping it at the back. So pull up and down a couple of times. That tightens that knot right up, like it's not going to come undone. And then the rest is to sew to the tree. So you're done. You're just going to sew the rest of the tree. So that is your little bow. And like I said, you don't need to do the whole outside of it. And you can just have the raw edges if you want. So go ahead and make as many bows as you need, and then I'll meet you back here and we'll sew them onto the tree. So I have a bunch of bows that I did. This is in the glittery pink. So like I said, I didn't go around the outside with extra stitches. I just left mine raw, so they're not as big as, so that's a raw edge one, and then that's one where we went around the outside. So this one does look better, but this one's gonna look more uniformed, I think, size wise on the tree. But anyway, that's worsted. I used my scraps to make this. So now this pink sparkly is worsted too, but I didn't do the extra step. And then I've got some that are just regular. So I have some bows that are just going to be smaller than other bows, but I just used my scrap to make all these. So I've got some pieces sticking up from my tails. I didn't get cut off, but I can do that when I go around. So I'm going to start sewing mine on. Start with a blue one. Start with one that's easy to see. So like I said, I think I'm just going to sew on. I'm going to sew mine on the low points instead of the high points. So of course we're not going to do the bottom because it's too low. And you don't have to hit every low point. But anyway, so I'm just going to go into the tree, and I'm going to just kind of grab a post, a couple of posts. I'm going to come out into the bow. You may know a better way of sewing. I suck at sewing, so you don't want to completely listen to me. I'm going to go back down close enough to the tail where it's just going to look like a stitch. And I'm going to come back out. And then I'm going to go up into this guy. So you really don't have to tack it down a lot. And then I'm going to go into the tree again. I'm going to tie a knot. Or a double knot, however you prefer. But don't make it tight. You want a knot, but this knot, the whole theory is it's going to get stuck in the fibers of the polyfill or cotton, whatever you've used, and someone's not going to be able to pluck my bow right off the tree. So I'm going to cut it back. I have not tightened the knot, and I've left a little bit of a nubby because if I cut it too short, then the knot's going to wiggle itself loose. We don't want to pull this into the tree. We want to push it right down into that fiber, polyfill fiber. So, bow number 1. So, let's go ahead and just sew our bows on wherever you're going to sew your bows on. And I'll meet you on the other side. Okay, so I've got all my bows on. This is the back, so I didn't really go that crazy with the bows. But that's my front. I used the big one that I did with you guys, where I went around the outside and just put that on the very top for almost like a star, I guess. So some lows and then some high points up here. Anyway, I've got all my glitter glue, all the different colors that there are. I'll get this tree out of the way for now. So there's plenty of other different colors. These are 2 different color blues. They're so close together, and then I got this other different color blue. Actually has more sparkles in it. Yellow, pink, silver, and then there's not much of that left, I don't think. So got all my different colors, and I am just going to double. So when I did my other one, I did it all, and then I just let it sit and dry for a whole entire day and night, so 24 hours. So I knew it was completely. Now these you don't have to shake. I'm just gonna wipe off this little drip I got going on here onto my scrap yarn. So you don't need to shake these. You can just start dabbing, and you can make them as big as you want or as small as you want, and you just find a spot and dab her down. So I'm gonna go around with one color and then I'll switch. I'm gonna make this bigger. So it's just like Christmas balls. You don't want your colors too close together. I probably shouldn't have put that one there, but it is done. So I'm done with that color. I'm gonna go with the purple. My favorite color is purple. Now I'm not shaking this because I have to shake it. It's already mixed. It's mixed pretty well. It's because I want to get it all the way down to the bottom. Some of these are emptying out. So because I like this purple, I'm going to do a great big dollop of purple balls. I know this isn't crocheting, but I wasn't going to crochet a bunch of tiny little balls. Don't even know if I have the patience for that. As you know, if you followed my channel long enough, I don't do small things very well. Hurts my hands. I have bad hands, so I stick to the larger projects. You know, I make big dolls. I don't make those tiny little dolls that are, I mean, really, what do you do with them? Can't snuggle them. So, you can stop putting your balls on anytime you want. I'm still going because I like a lot of balls on my tree. I'm just not going as much with the colors. So, there we have it. I got a couple of drips going on, but a couple of drips right there. Glue all over my hands. Anyway, you get the point. I'm going to leave the tree here to dry. Hi guys, so part 2-ish kind of this little the little Christmas tree, a little tiny one. So I'm going to be doing it in this sparkly green. You can see the sparkles. And then around this garland, this scalloped garland, I'm going to be doing it in the glittery pink. So let's get started. We build from the top down, just like I did with my big one. If you've watched my big one, which is technically a part 1, even though it's not even the same project. So anyway, we're gonna start with a magic ring. And you're gonna put 6 half double crochets. Six. You're going to need a stitch marker because we're going to make this amigurumi style, which means no slip stitching, no chaining. So you're going to go into your next stitch and you're going to put a half double crochet. With your stitch marker. And this round's going to be one double crochet or one half double crochet and an increase. So that's your one half double crochet. So into your next stitch, you're going to do the increase of 2 half doubles in the same space and repeat. So you should have a total of 9 stitches. You can turn this right side in now. Pull your middle closed a little bit, so that's going to be the top of your tree. Your next round is going to be 2 half doubles and an increase. So stitch number 1, 1 half double plus your marker. The next stitch gets 1 half double, so that's 2 half doubles, and then your increase of 2 half doubles in the same space. So your next round is just going to be 1 half double crochet in each of these 12 stitches. So your next round is going to be 3 half doubles and an increase. That's number 1. Three half doubles, and then your next stitch gets the increase of 2 half doubles in that same space. Your next round is going to be 4 half doubles and an increase. Number 1. Always get your stitch marker. That's 2. That's 4 half doubles. And then the next stitch gets 2 half doubles in the same space for your increase. So if you're ending off at your marker at the end of your sequence, then you know you're doing everything right. But then you've got these 1 half double crochet in each stitch rows where you can make sure you've got the same count that you should have. You should have 18 stitches. So this round is just going to be 1 half double crochet in each stitch around for 18 stitches. And this is also where you can fix it. So if you're short a stitch, you can add a stitch, and if you have too many, you can take one away. So at 18, I'm still on track. So your next row is going to be 5 half double crochets, and that should bring you up to 21 stitches. And then the next round is going to be 1 half double in each of those 21 stitches. That's 5 half doubles, and then your increase of 2 half doubles in the same space. So your next round is going to be 6 half double crochets and an increase, and that'll take you to 24 stitches. And then your next row after that will be 1 half double in each of those 24 stitches. That's number 1. That's 6 half doubles. So your next stitch will get the increase of 2 half doubles in the same space. So your next round is 7 half double crochets and an increase, and that takes you to 27 stitches. And then you're going to put 1 half double crochet in each of those 27 stitches. That's 7 half doubles. So your next stitch gets 2 half doubles for the increase. And repeat. So the next 3 rows are going to be a little bit different. This next one is going to be 8 half double crochets and an increase. Your next round is going to be 9 half doubles. So we're not doing that one in between, and we're going to do that all the way to 11 half double crochets. So I'm going to put that on the screen. So this is what you should have. We're going to start decreasing soon, but this next row, so this last one, you should have been your 11 half double crochet and an increase. So your next round, you should have 39 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet, or sorry, 1 half double crochet in each of the 39 stitches. I just forgot what I had said. 39 stitches. So 1 half double crochet in each stitch. And then we're going to start our decreases. So your next round, we're going to start decreasing.
And we're going to do a 6 single crochet decrease.
6 half double crochet decrease. You know what I meant. That's number 1. That's 6 half double crochets, and then your decrease is going to be to yarn over, go into your first stitch and pull through. You're going to pull through 2 loops and stop. You're going to yarn over, you're going to go into your next stitch, you're going to pull through, you're going to pull through 2, and then you're going to pull through all 3. So that's your decrease. And repeat. Six half double crochets and then your decrease. So yarn over, go into your first stitch, pull through, yarn over and come through 2 and stop, yarn over, go into your second stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. And repeat. So your next round is going to be 4 half double crochets and a decrease. That's number 1 with your marker. That's 4 half double crochets and then your decrease. And repeat. So your next round is going to be 3 half double crochets and a decrease. And then after this we can start to stuff it. So that's number 1. Three half doubles and then your decrease. And repeat. So before we do the last little bit, we should probably put some stuffing in here. So I like to push it all out to the side and then stick it up the middle, the nice hole that I dig. I seem to get a way better stuff when I do it like that. Now try not to overstuff it because you don't want to see the white through. So I might stick some more in there after. So we're just going to do a single crochet decrease. So you're just going to go into the stitch, grab some yarn, go into the next stitch, grab some yarn, and then go through all 3 of those stitches. So we're just doing a single crochet decrease. You're going to need enough to sew the bottom shut and to weave. But that's about it. And again, I probably have too much, but it's always better to have too much than not enough. So this needs to be flat because your tree needs to sit up on its own. So don't overstuff, but I think I can still stand and get some more in there, a little bit more in there. So that's what it looks like when you just kind of keep going around and around and around and around until you have enough, you know, to just sew shut and pull shut without it looking horrible. So I'm just kind of shoving up the middle and maybe a little bit out. I don't want to overstuff the bottom because it really just needs to sit on its own. So I'm going to push up. I think that's good. I think it's still pretty flat, but still, I could probably still have plenty of room in here to push up. So if you push on this and it bounces back, then you have enough stuffing. If you push on it and it doesn't bounce back, you need more stuffing. But as long as you can't see through, then you're fine. So we can get the bottom sewn up. Now this one's going to look bigger than the one that I initially showed you because this is worsted yarn, and the one I showed you at the beginning of the video is not worsted yarn. So I'll show you the size difference between worsted and not worsted in a second. So you're going to come through, you're going to pick up one piece of yarn only in the first stitch. You're going to come out the second stitch under just one piece of yarn. You don't have to pull all the way. You can leave a little loopy. I like to leave a little loop at the beginning. So again, the next two, you're going to go in the first one and out the second one. And the first one, out the second one. 2 more stitches left, in and out. So once you've got all that, you're just going to pull. So it's just going to close that hole right up, just like that. So once your hole is closed up, come across to the other side. go through the loop because we want to make a knot. So when you pull up and back like this, tightens that knot right down. And then you can go in and you can weave. So I'm just going to push up on that a bit. Make sure it's going to stand on its own, which it does. So in your weaving, go in where you came out. Go in as close as you can to your lead. That way it just looks like a stitch and it doesn't look like you were actually weaving. You don't have to do much weaving. You just don't think anyone's going to pull apart your bottom. So just a couple of times. So you may have to adjust it. Got a couple of bumpy spots, but so this is my worsted one, and this is my not worsted one. That's the size difference between worsted yarn and just regular 4-weight. These are both 4 weights. That's just this one's worsted and this one's not. So that's the size difference that you get. So if I ever do anything and I'm only using a 4-weight and you want it to be bigger, all you have to do is just use a worsted weight and maybe a bigger needle if you really want it that much bigger. So I've changed to a 4mm to put this stuff on. You can do it in a spiral like I did, or you can I mean, I guess you have to kind of do it in a spiral to get it around the tree. Yeah, so we're going to do it in a spiral. So all you need to do is make a slip knot. Make sure this tail is decently long so that we can tuck it in and cut it off. So starting at what's going to eventually be the back, and wherever you want to start, you want to pick up a post. So the first thing we have to do is create stitches. So we're going to put a single crochet around that post. And then you're just going to create stitches, moving in an upwards direction. It doesn't matter how big of a stitch you do either, but moving in an upward spiral sort of direction, or whatever you want to do. So because we built this in a spiral amigurumi, there is a natural spiral to this pattern as it is. So if you just followed along the posts, it would spiral up anyway. It would just spiral up really shallow. So right now I'm just following post for post. I kind of already went up a little bit over here. So when I come back around, I'm going to be way higher than normal if I just followed the natural spiral. But keep in mind, we're putting scallops on this too, so. Plus all the little glitter balls. And you can put bows on this one if you want. The big one we put bows on. This one I decided to just decorate it up with a scalloped garland. So I'm going to end at the back where I started at the back, just so it doesn't look so silly. Actually, I'm not ending because I still got to build the scallops, but I'm ending like the row. Anyway, so I want you to chain 2. So we're going to go back this way. So our scallops, our repeat is going to consist of go into your next stitch. So not this one. That's kind of going to be used by our chain 2. I want you to go into the next stitch. And I want you to do 3 double crochets. Or you can do half doubles. If it depends on how big you want them. I'm going to do doubles. So 3 double crochets in the same space. It's hard to hold on to, I know. You're going to skip 1, and into the next stitch you're going to put 1 single crochet. So that's going to be our scallops, and your repeat starts in the very next stitch of 3 double crochets in the same space. It's very awkward, but it goes very fast because you get to skip that one space, so it does go pretty fast. It's even more awkward to do it with the camera between your legs. So 3 double crochets, skip 1, and into the next stitch you're just going to do a single crochet. So I want you to pull tight when you do your single, because you're going to have to book this, which means you're going to have to, when you're done, you're going to have to wet it, or you can use spray starch. So that it doesn't keep rolling up, so you have to just wet it, pull it down, and let it dry in that position, because that's how it's supposed to be. So that's going to be your repeat all the way around. 3 double crochets, skip 1, 1 single crochet. So I'm right back basically where I started. I just did my 1 single crochet. So that's my 3 double crochets. So I would skip 1, and then I have this last stitch. And instead of the 1 single crochet, I'm just going to do a slip stitch, and I'm going to fasten off. So you just need a tail about as long as this, preferably, as long as your straggler. Whoops. So I'm just going to pull that tight. So all I'm going to do with these 2 is I'm going to tie a very tight double knot. I'm going to make these even because I'm going to thread them into my needle. And I'm going to go in just to the top of this, down into the tree, and I'm just going to pull through. And I'm going to pull tight. So at this point you can do another knot, or you can just cut it off. But I'm going to do another knot with both pieces. I'm not going to make it super tight, and I'm not going to cut it off all the way down near the knot. I'm going to leave a little nubby, and I'm going to poke it down into the stuffing. So if anybody tugs on this, that should get lodged into the stuffing, and then... Sorry, I'm just cutting off pieces of my metallic that got yanked and it was sticking up. So, when you book this, which means getting it wet and then putting it into shape, you just gotta pull it all down. But we'll worry about that You can worry about this now and then finish the video later. Or you can... So if you were to do this and you did it in the color white with the scallops, it could potentially look like snow. It's just a thought. So, you can book this now, you can book it later, you can starch it, whatever. But I would do that before I do the glue balls if you're gonna wet it, because you're gonna have to spray and then bring your hands down. So let's get that done first. We'll let it dry overnight and then I'll see you back here. I know that's odd for a video, but for me it's just going to be a quick cut in the video, but I don't think you really need me to show you how to put on glue balls. So that's basically I guess where I'm going to leave you with the video. So don't forget, you're going to have to book this or spray starch it. Bring it all down. And then you can take your Elmer's glue, if that's what you're going to do. You don't have to do that, but you take your Elmer's glue, and I've got all these colors that I did in my other video. So I've got all these colors, and I'm going to put my glue balls on, and I'm probably going to do bigger balls than I did with these. These are glue balls. I know it's hard to tell. There's one that dripped, but they dry really hard. So mine have been cured now for about a week with this one. So I'm gonna do my booking now because they've had time to cure. So you can do either way. So that'll be your back, obviously, with the two ends. But thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.